All right, movie review time again. And tonight I was able to watch the new Avatar movie, Avatar: The Way of Water. And this is the sequel to the 2010 Avatar, directed by James Cameron. Now, I will say, to me, this is much better than the original film. I will also say, if you haven't seen the original film in a while, you might want to go back and try and catch it quickly before you go see this, just to kind of catch yourself back up on everything. And I will also warn you that this movie clocks in at about 3 hours, and I think it's like 12 minutes. So it is long, and that's going to be a problem for some people. Just because of the length, there can be what some people see as a lot of filler. There are a couple of slow parts. At the beginning, it's a little slow. And then there's some parts that just are, because you get to see a new part of Pandora, a new area. And so they do take time kind of introducing that. They give you an opportunity to learn some about the characters that live there. And so that does take a little time, and some people might be bored by that. But, I'll say that the ending certainly makes up for it. So just remember, it is long. You don't want to be drinking a lot, because you don't want to get up and go back and forth. You certainly don't want to miss stuff. And I will say, this is certainly one of the very few movies that I would say is worth seeing in 3D. I did see the 3D version. There were some parts, again, where, the 3D just seemed to kind of tune out. But overall, I think it worked way better than a lot of things that they convert and put into 3D anymore these days. I will say, too, some of the dialogue to me was a little clunky, a little cheesy. But visually, this movie is on par with the first Avatar. In fact, I think it actually surpasses it visually. I mean, James Cameron is just a master of these types of movies. And the storytelling, like I said, dialogues, get a little desire here and there. But the story overall, I think, is very, very strong. It definitely ties and connects into the first one very well. And it is, it's got some emotion and some heart to it, which certainly helps drive the film. So I do think it is a strong movie. I think it's much better than the first movie. Visually, it is fantastic. They filmed a lot of this movie in and under the water. I think they had to develop some new technology, especially for these underwater scenes, and it really, really pays off. This is probably going to win at least an Oscar for Best Visual Effects. That's pretty much in the bag. I just don't know of anything else I've seen this year that even comes close to the special effects that are in this movie. So I certainly recommend catching it in theater. If you like 3D, I would recommend pay that little bit extra, see it in 3D. If you have an opportunity to see it on a larger format screen, we don't have one where I live, the larger format, so I'm sure that would certainly be worth the price. I'd almost guarantee that it'd be worth the price. If you live near one or get an opportunity to go to one, I certainly would pay that extra price. So if you can deal with the running time, I think for a lot of people that's probably going to be the part that will detract a little bit. I think it's really worth seeing, and I'm going to give Avatar: The Way of Water 4.5 out of 5 stars.